Women, what is the most surprising thing you learned when you started living with a man? I learned that sometimes when a man is very hungover he will take a sad sitting down shower. Discovered my fiance sitting on the shower floor like a drowned snuffleupagus. That's not a stain from glue, lotion, or a hair product, that's semen. Pockets must be emptied of all spare change and small pieces of garbage immediately after coming in the door, and deposited in random caches around the house. This was also when I found out how awesome it is to wear his shirts, and have someone to tell me my cooking is good. Hilarious about the pockets. I'm so guilty of this. I learned that men can have a lot of dribble after they pee. I learned this because he went pee, then came back and whipped out his dong and splattered my face. You could spend a century standing over the toilet wiggling your dong to try and get it all out, but the moment you attempt to put mini-me back inside his pants it'll dribble on your boxers. Genuinely the most infuriating thing a man's body does. That he can sit in front the computer video games from morning till it's dark out without once getting up to pee, make food or turn on the bloody lights. I've honestly gotten so into a game that I forget about using the bathroom. I only remember I have to when my buddy says he has to take a break for something. Something I've noticed since moving in with my so is how much I enjoy having someone to help me out with stuff. I've always had kind of bad roommates who tend to not do their fair share of the work. To be fair, I'm a neat freak, so my standards are definitely set higher than the average person's. My so, though, is always willing to help me out with anything I ask. I also love having a perpetually available adventure buddy. Even if I just want to go to the grocery store, he's always willing to come with me. You guys sound like you're doing it right. Well, the first surprise was moving in with my dad, and I was shocked that he never cleaned or cooked. Had a maid for cleaning and ate out for every single one of his meals. And my goodness, men are good at painting the wall with their pee. The second surprise was moving in with my so. Shocked to learn he is incredibly clean, able and willing to cook, and never gets pee on the wall. So I guess the thing I learned that would have been surprising to me as a teen is that all men are just as variable as women are. I blame my delay in realizing this on being raised in an all-female home and not really having any male role models. Pooping time is sacred and a great time to catch up on the news and browse some Reddit. Can be slightly inconvenient when I need the bathroom and he's been in there for one stroke to an hour though. Sometimes I have ghost poops. You sit down, plop plop, wipe and nothing's there. Total elapsed time, 30 seconds. Other times, ugh, the hot snakes. You're not quite sure when they are done, so you just sit there, hoping, dreading, and then you have to poop an hour later anyway. My wife learned that I cannot poop and hold a conversation at the same time. If I'm on the porcelain throne, then I demand solitude. I will not answer inanities like whether my blue shirt needs a wash or the kitchen is on fire. This is not gender specific. I'm a woman, and if I'm on the throne, I wish to be left alone. If you've got a ceiling fan, turn it on. That should drown out almost anyone. How often men seem like they have something wrong, but they don't. For the first couple of months that we were living together I was convinced that he already hated living with me because there were so many times that he would zone out and not speak and give short answers. Turns out that he would just have something on his mind completely unrelated to our relationship. How fun it would be to be able to make spontaneous plans. How wonderful to have someone to snuggle with before you fall asleep. How much more intimate it is to share the details of your day in person than over text. How hard it would be when he moved out. Ouch, my heart. I go to bed and, when I wake up and head to my desk to work, I work from home. His jeans, pants, socks and shoes are on the floor. Why? For reasons unbeknownst to me. After I go to bed, he strips down and leaves his clothes in the living room. If I don't pick up after him each morning, by the end of the week we have a small mountain of clothes in the corner. My husband will turn on the bedroom AC to its highest setting and then pile 3 heavy blankets on top of himself. Then complain that it's too hot. Every single summer night. Literally have a fan blowing at top speed right now with the AC on and 2 heavy blankets on top of me with one leg out in the open. This is my happy place. When he takes dirty dishes off the table, he carries them to the sink one by one. However, if we go to the supermarket and bring home 3 boxes of baby diapers and 5 bags of groceries, he will carry them all at once even if he breaks his back. It'll be a cold day in heck before I make 2 trips from the car. This might be just specific to my boyfriend, but I was surprised at how much he was willing to compromise. He stopped leaving the toilet seat up, he hates vacuuming but he'll mop, and if I cook he cleans. I was honestly expecting cohabitating to be a real struggle, but it has strengthened our relationship tenfold. Shaving is a sacred ritual. My husband closes the bathroom door and takes his time shaving, then he comes out flawless. They have different rules about things. A shirt is not dirty unless it's smelly, wet, or has fresh stains on it. They'll wear it again before choosing to wash it. Making the bed every morning is not required, it's a waste of time. But what if we have company? Why would they go look at our bed? If they did, what's wrong with it being unmade? They might gasp, know that we sleep there. It's a lot of practicality and efficiency versus making things look nice and wasting time. Sounds right. In agreement with all those points. My boyfriend used blankets as curtains before living with me. I had to proclaim that we would be using actual curtains upon moving in together. He tried to get out of that by grumbling that curtains were an unnecessary expense. He wanted to get one of those little rugs that go around the toilet so he could miss. Evidently he believed those rugs exist to be peed on. UWTF. Besides my boyfriend, I've lived with plenty of men and what I've learned is that they're all different. Some are slobs, some are fastidious and clean, some are fussy and some have odd habits. It's almost like they're individual people with their own personalities. It's truly bizarre. My BF is way fussier than I am though, I've noticed. I think I'm kind of a slob though, so it makes sense. It's almost like they're individual people. No way. P. There is a lot of shedding of body hair. I thought my head shed a lot, but apparently his legs and chest and wherever else all these small dark hairs are coming from shed at least as much. Hate to break it to you, but those are pubes. All of them. Lived with a guy roommate once. Just a roommate, who liked to burp and actually say the words burp, belch, or rafe while burping. I dunno, maybe I'm a weird woman, but it always made me giggle. My dad's go-to burp word is rutabaga. I learned that my husband's guts are very talkative, to the point where it actually seems like they wait for the best moment to put their 2 cents in. This was completely new to me, because, if my guts are being loud, I'm already on the toilet praying for my guts to just vacate themselves and stop with the twisty innards pain. For him, it's just normal, and he doesn't even feel what I've heard 25% of the time. Although, they do increase their talkativeness and volume according to their desire to vacate. I actually have to tell him to go use the bathroom sometimes, because of how insistent they're getting with their urgh noises, and he wants to finish watching a video on his computer first. He's sparing you the unpleasantry of his heinous farts. I moved in with a bunch of male roommates, friends with penises. Please get a garbage can with air lid. I can smell what you do in your personal time. Some men prefer having the seat and lid down. I'd always been a lid up kind of slob, and I was the one that had to change. Lid down is a great compromise for men. It guarantees no one can complain about toilet seats being left up, and also equalizes the work required to use the washroom for all genders. Plus, if you flush with the seat open, water from it can splash quite far. You don't want that in the air in the same room as your toothbrushes. That you don't really know someone until you live with them. My ex used to turn up the heating way too high, get too hot, open the window and keep the heating on. When I asked him why he would do this, he shrugged and said I got hot. He also used to wipe his boogers on the side of our bed and the side of our sofa. I'm not normally someone to see red, but that was freaking gross. He was 23 for God's sakes. That's a lie. I just eat my boogers. I'm not raised in a barn. If all of your socks are the same color and the same style, you don't have to mate them. You can just stick them in a drawer and pull out 2 random socks without even looking at what you're grabbing. Men don't like to just talk, they like to fix problems. Men don't pay attention to details. They like to condense to essence. This is why a "how did your day go" convo lasts 12 seconds. A lot of men would prefer their women bottomless in a man's shirt than in some fancy lingerie that takes 10 minutes to figure out how to dismantle. The men do not need a lot of space for stuff, but the space they have is sacred and should not be encroached upon. Leave him his closet and his garage work shelf, and he'll be happy. If he insists on a man cave, best to let him have one and do not mock it. Men are literally mystified by why it would take more than 4 minutes to get ready to go out. They are even more mystified why women would bother to go through that ritual if you're not going to see anyone you know when you go out. For many men, words of praise, acknowledging accomplishment and stature, are the most generous acts of love you can provide. Men literally become uncomfortable in their bodies without a sexual release after a couple days. It's not like they just don't think about it if it doesn't happen. If it doesn't happen, then that's all they can think about. Am male. What my wife said most surprised her baffles her is my bladder. When I go to bed, if I need to pee, I will. If I don't, I won't. And then I'll sleep the night with nary a stir, and might not pee for a few hours after I get up. On the flip side, she pees as part of her going to bed routine. Otherwise she'll have to get up in the middle of the night to pee. She doesn't understand how I can go 12+ hours without peeing. Most men don't have a garbage can in their bathroom. Hey guys, if you want to impress your lady friends, put a goddamn garbage can in the bathroom. We have stuff we need to put in there sometimes. From my few experiences living with guys, they have a way higher tolerance of the house being a total disaster. No food in the fridge, they'll just order takeout every night. Dishes piled up in the sink, just use a napkin as a plate. Garbage overflowing, start a garbage pile next to the garbage can. They just don't care. Men are always hungry. They can check the fridge many times during evening to check if there is something tasty and ready to be grabbed. Also, if a recipe says that it serves 4, it actually means that it serves 4 women or 1 man. How upset I got over socks on the floor, clothes not put away, basically all the crap my mom would yell at me for, and I couldn't understand why it was such a big deal. My so and I both have full-time jobs. I often work 12 o'clock 2200 hours, but he works morning to early afternoon. Often when I get home from work I've got the most amazing dinner and a hot bath waiting for me. When we get random days off together we go mountain biking, or swimming, or stargazing. It's so comforting having someone like that there for you. We've been together for 3 years now. Cleaning and disciplining the kids, religious views, political views, they all come out seemingly unexpected. Boyfriend's taking a crap and suddenly announces they think they might vote for Trump, and you're just doing the dishes wondering where you went wrong in life. Men actually do have feelings. Growing up with men who never showed any emotion besides anger or irritation during my childhood, I never really understood that men also felt sad, vulnerable or insecure within their relationships sometimes. Quite an eye-opener for me, even after a few relationships, to learn that what now seems so incredibly obvious. That he is more than capable of doing household chores. My dad would barely make himself a sandwich when I was growing up, and when I moved in with my boyfriend, now husband, I was genuinely shocked that he can, and does, cook lovely dinners, iron a pristine shirt and do any and all other household chores to a Kim and Aggie standard. This despite having grown up with a mammy that did everything for him. I got a good done. This doesn't exactly fit the question, but it's the first thing that came to mind. I have 2 boys, ages 10 and 12. I married a man with a daughter, age 10. There is glitter everywhere. They'd go shirtless any chance they could get, which is understandable since we're in a hot and humid country. Also, they change their bed covers and pillowcases less frequently than women. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.